We're joined now by Mike Robinson, the sideline reporter for the Rocket Radio Network. And Mike Rob, you're down on the sideline last night. Talk about the emotional switches from that first quarter to that fourth quarter, that final 9 seconds.
You know, Mark, it was an emotional game, as you said, and watching the defense was one of the things that I spent my time doing, listening to Coach Cool, talk to the defensive players and how they respond, because typically as Toledo's defense go, the offense follows. And this wasn't the case. You know, you had a Kent State type vibe in the first quarter, having 21-something points put up on you, and then you saw the defense step up and then grind their way back into the football game. Special teams gaffes happened, but as far as emotions, I thought the defense was playing just where they needed to be, and offensively, we just couldn't stop the blitz.
Injuries are part of the game of football. Daquan Finn, unavailable. He would have made a difference last night.
Absolutely.
But Tucker Gleason particularly played well in the second half, and as we found out after the game, played with a broken hand on his non-throwing hand in that second half and led that comeback.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, and there's no shade to this Tucker Gleason guy. I mean, we got two really good quarterbacks at Toledo, and that's what you found out last night. And for Tucker to be able to rush for 106 yards and to be able to throw for over 300, you know, combined for closely 400 yards of offense, that is as best as you can ask for somebody who's technically a backup quarterback. So as far as what he did on that field, I think it meant so much more to that locker room, because now they feel that they can trust DQ. You know that you got a quarterback that can win the tough games like at Eastern Michigan, but now Tucker gets to feel the vibes of what it feels like to lose in a gut-wrenching loss, because he did everything in his power to make this happen. But again, it's got to come with a rushing attack. My thoughts initially was Toledo's got to rush for 200 yards in order to win this football game, and we didn't get any of that from the running backs.
Yeah, I thought one of the keys to the game was in that second quarter where Tucker started to tuck the ball and run and realized, hey, we're dangerous when Daquan runs. We can be dangerous if I run too.
Yeah, you know, and I asked him afterwards, you know, I said, you know, everybody puts him in the box of saying, hey, he's a pocket passer. And I've never believed that, because the first time he hit campus and I walked up to practice and saw him running around, I'm like, who is this transfer kid running around? And he runs so well and he's got a big body. I said, oh, he's a red zone threat for us. And not throwing the ball, but running the football. And that's what I took from Tucker Gleason. And so it's good to see him out here rushing the football like that. I mean, hey, I like to have DQ and him in the backfield, because they're a 1-2 combo, running the ball, using their legs, but also passing. This is a really, really good quarterback in Tucker Gleason.
So the Rockets had already punched their ticket to Detroit. Yeah. There really wasn't much on the line for UT except for the fact that it was your arch rival. First time the Rockets have lost to Bowling Green in the Glass Bowl in over 10 years. Where do you go from here?
You know, that's a tough loss. I mean, honestly, in all honesty, it's a bad loss to a BG team that just simply came up I-75 and outplayed the Rockets. I mean, defensively, they did everything that they should have. 4 sacks on your quarterback, you know, making plenty of stops in the backfield. Our running backs couldn't get going. I mean, we gotta search ourselves, you know, because this could snowball into a situation where you got a tough game next week. You don't want to have to continue. Well, you know, Western Michigan is not the greatest team, but they're going to be tough on the road. They're going to be looking to play spoiler, and they're going to be looking to win their last home game. But for Bowling Green, hats off to McDonald and company for coming out here and doing exactly what they needed to. For the Rockets, you got to go back, look in the mirror and say, hey, we're here to win football games. I got to sit there and watch Jamal Hines and Deontay Johnson at the end of the game. One of the worst feelings I had watching those two seniors standing at the 50-yard line, just looking down like, where did we go wrong? The defense is doing their job, but offensively, we got to find some consistency and some continuity so that way we can produce and help that defense out.
Now, there is a possibility that UT and BG could meet again in the MAC championship game. Are the Rockets maybe actively hoping for that?
You know, I would say absolutely. I mean, after that loss right there, you lose to your rivals. They haven't won in the Glass Bowl since 2008. I mean, come on, that's a bad loss. But again, Bowling Green is getting better, so you don't want to discount or discredit them for what they're doing. But for Toledo, you want that back. I saw DQ at the end of the game walking down and looking at the Bowling Green sideline as they celebrated in his stadium, and he was like, "I'm in this boot. There's nothing I can do right now. But catch me in a few weeks, on December 3rd, particularly when that MAC championship comes, so I can guarantee you that they're rooting for Kent State and Bowling Green to go forward next week."
And we'll find out next week who the Rockets' opponent is. Right now, what we know is Toledo has got Western Michigan next Friday, Black Friday. We'll talk more about that matchup coming up next week here on College Football Weekly. I want to thank our guest, Mike Robinson, for his insights on the Rockets here on College Football Weekly.
Thanks for having me, Mark.